Hey, welcome to another episode of the AutoFix Advisor Cast with your host, Michael Doherty. This episode is sponsored by WorldPack and the WorldPack Training Institute. This podcast is your go-to source for service advising and automotive industry insights. And be sure to check out worldpack.com for the latest in auto parts distribution and worldpacktraining.com to explore training programs that can take your career to the next level. Stay tuned and also connect with WorldPack on their Facebook page and join the community at the STX Training Expo coming up in 2026 at the Gaylord in Washington, D.C. in August. And again, that'll be in 2026 and it'll be a can't miss event. Service Advisor Nation, hope everyone is doing well. Ladies and gentlemen, it is called the end of the year. It's wrapping up to be the end of the year, and it's been a great year. Definitely challenging, but just I guess gauging the room. How's everybody feeling? How's your health, mental and physical? It's there's definitely some things going around this time of year. Have some coworkers out sick, not feeling well. Hoping they pull through. Hope you guys pull through as well. But it's been rewarding but challenging year. And again, there's been sickness going around this time of year. So if anybody's not feeling well, truly hope you get better soon. So a couple of things I wanted to talk about today, and I guess it spans from just kind of the daily routine. As a service advisor, what inspires you, what motivates you to get up in the morning, give it your best for that day, and just what kind of routine do you have in the morning that allows you to do that? Me personally, again, I've been doing service writing cumulative for 20 years, and I'm pretty much a creature of habit. So routine for me would be getting up somewhere between probably 4:30 and 5 in the morning. At a point in time, I was getting up actually at 4 in the morning and hitting the gym for about an hour to an hour and a half, and then starting my day back at home, breakfast, shower, get dressed, hop in the car, get to work. But I guess chronological order, getting up and working out, that was fantastic, and I really need to get back into that. I had some things that kind of derailed me from doing that, but I definitely want to get back into that. We have Planet Fitness, which isn't too far from our house. It's open 24 hours a day, and it's my fault. I've stopped going there, and I need to get back into that. But definitely, when I was working out in the morning, I just felt more energized, drinking lots of water, and then, like I say, getting back home, having a good breakfast, getting ready for the day, putting some music on, and then definitely jamming out on the way to work. Just whatever is on the radio, if you got, Sirius XM, finding your favorite station, just pumping that music, man. I'm sure everybody's got a couple songs that they just go to for their, pump it up jam. But, and then, getting to work and, kind of coming up with the attack for the day or the routine. So for me, it was, kind of as I'm pulling in, if it's light out, which most times it was, but sometimes not. Again, getting there fairly early and getting things going, but just doing a quick scan of the parking lot. As a service advisor, you should definitely know what's in the parking lot. And the parking lot that we have, it actually shares. It's a joint parking lot between us and another business, which is actually a dog daycare. So we had kind of split the parking lot in two, where their employees would park, the dog daycare, and their clients would come, and then where our coworkers and clients would park their cars. Our cars would be moved, but so it was pretty easy to decipher areas of the parking lot. But just doing a quick scan in the morning as you're pulling in, or as I'm pulling in, and is there a car there that you looks different, wasn't there the day before? And if it's not there, if there's not a key for it in the night drop, going out and trying to find that key. And sometimes tow truck drivers, if people have had the vehicle towed in after hours, if it wasn't a scheduled appointment, sometimes tow truck drivers unfortunately just put the car in the parking lot and play hide and go seek with the key. I have found keys just in the ignition. I have found them under a seat, on top of a tire, or in some instances, not at all. And we've had the rare occasion where a vehicle's been towed in, there is no key, and we get a phone call from a client saying, "Hey, I was calling for an update. I had my car towed in yesterday." what's going on with it. And, it wasn't a client that we previously had before. So it was kind of a, unexpected appointment or service reservation. And again, no idea that the car's supposed to be there. And they call and ask what the status is. And we tell them that there's no key. And then they've got to call AAA or the tow truck vendor. And we've also had some times where a car shows up on our parking lot and it's not actually for, we've had a car or two over the years that have been towed in and no one knows anything about it. And it sits there for a couple of days. And, we'll go to the extent of, if it's unlocked, going to the glove box and trying to see if maybe there's a receipt from a dry cleaner or maybe a prior service record from a dealer or someone like that. But if there isn't, unfortunately, you just kind of got to sit there and wait and see what happens. But in any event, checking the night drop, making sure to see if there's any keys in there, and making also sure that that night drop box is stocked with envelopes, pens that can deplete rather rapidly. And it's, because it's outside of the dwelling or business, it's not always at the forefront of our minds to check that, but, continually once a day or once a week, checking to make sure you've got enough envelopes and pens for tow truck drivers or clients to fill those out. And also, is the night drop in a place that's well lit? I find out that that's a very important too, so people can easily find it. And, especially when it's dark, if they're there filling out a form, so they have to go back to their car, go back to the night drop, make it easier for them, make it more accessible for them and to use. But again, getting back to what inspires you, what motivates you to get up in the morning and give it your best for the day. What's your routine? Again, mine's getting up, hitting the gym if I can, and just kind of starting the day. But also, along the lines of a work-life balance, how are we as service advisors, after just really being fed information from a fire hose all day, how are we, turning that information off on the way home after we clock out, after we, on the ride home, on the drive home, if you would? How are we just kind of getting that work-life balance and in getting it out of our head for the day and going back to, we'll call it family mode, if you would? I'm always in family mode, but you know what I mean? Just the separation of, I've done the best I can for the day, and now I need to switch gears mentally. I'm coming back home, or whatever you're going to do, just get out of that work mode. Again, I found that music is a great way to do that and decompress. Or I'll give a phone call. I'll give a phone call to a family member or a friend, and have a 20-30 minute conversation on the way home, and just kind of get back to basics before I get home. But just again, what's your routine? And also, in the morning, if you've done your routine, and again, it can be a bunch of different stuff, but again, I'm coming in the parking lot, I'm scanning around, I'm looking at vehicles. Is there something that's wasn't here the night before? Checking up on that, things of that nature. But also, are you excited? Are you excited for the day to start? Are you looking forward to the booked service reservations for that day, those clients coming in? I think everybody's got a favorite client or two or three or 10. And I've often, sometimes I go through the list in the morning or the day before doing pre-writes, and I come upon a name that I kind of go, oh man, this person's going to give me a run for my money. Or, the last time this person was in, it didn't go so great or whatever. And, and not judging that person, but just maybe the circumstance that happened, or just we couldn't get the car right, or, they paid to have work done and the check engine light came back on the second day after they had it and they had to bring it back in and they weren't happy about it. Just something where it just kind of stuck in your mind when you see that name and you kind of go, oh, how can we not do that? How can we not frame it, if you would, in our mind that it's going to be a problem, right? Like a bad interaction with that customer coming in that day for the service reservation that you've had a past not so great experience with. And I think a great way to do that is just come into it optimistic, and what happened. And hopefully you've had a chance to fix it and rectify that for them. And hope they don't bring it up. But if they do, again, just being professional and, hey, I remember the experience you had last time. And, whether it was a lack of communication that you were giving to them, or again, something just they had to come back for something that they shouldn't have, and just, remembering what that was and to not replicate it, do it again, and just, let them know that that's not going to happen this time. We got you. I've also gone into it too in the morning, pretty excited. We're going to help our customers today. We're going to educate our customers. We're going to build and maintain client relationships. and that's what we're there to do. So, the help portion, pretty simple, identify their concerns, provide solutions with building value and doing that for them. And again, using your, previous mention, client guided sales to, hopefully they want to do work with your shop and again, build value in that, thank you for their business. And, the education part, again, when you're going over that estimate with them or you're going over that email estimate with them or DVI, a digital vehicle inspection, breaking down, what's going on with the vehicle and educating them. And it doesn't always have to be in a automotive terminology. I've mentioned in the past, there's ways to relate things to people in a non-automotive sense that maybe don't understand automotive, and that's okay. But you just want to gain common ground and get them, to understand why it's important, and also, going to build and maintain client relationships. That's how we keep the funnel going. That's how we get return clients. We keep happy clients, all that good stuff. And there's also so much social media these days. I'm not a big social media person, but if your business has a social media platform, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, constantly updating and, putting content out there and for, existing followers and trying to get followers and whatnot. But, again, come in with a mindset, we're going to help customers today. We're going to educate customers today, and we're going to build and maintain client relationships today. Very important health or thought process there. I saw a quote the other day that I thought was really cool. It said, "Success is a reflection of daily habits." And one habit that I wasn't too great at doing, to be honest, was I would say I was probably 75% from doing it, but having a morning meeting, and things were kind of staggered in the operations for the day. So we had myself and a technician will come in fairly early, and then another technician would trickle in, and then the other service advisor that we worked with or work with, she would come in. She would be the closer. So I'd be the opener. I work from this hour opening to this hour, and then when I left for the day, she'd be there for an additional hour. But again, it was staggered entry. So we would shoot for, I think it was 10:30, somewhere in there, 9:45, 10:30 for a morning meeting. And sometimes it didn't happen. And, I'm just taking accountability. That was my fault. I just got caught up in the morning of getting cars checked in and doing dispatch and stuff like that. But just so important to have a morning meeting. And I think that is definitely part of success and in forms of communication with your team, and also building daily habits. And, I kind of looking at it in hindsight, I think it would have been a better idea to not only have a morning meeting consistently, but also have an afternoon meeting. And that in most places, I don't think happens. It didn't happen at the establishments that I worked with and worked at. But I think having a morning meeting just to establish what's going on from the day prior, what's coming in today, how can we make things as seamless as possible? And also, you're going to get those unaccounted things that are just going to pop up. And, for a better word, throw a wrench in the mix. It wouldn't be a day of automotive if it didn't. But, how do you adapt to that? How does your team respond to that? How do you pull through as a team with communication? But again, maybe 2:00, 2:30, having a second meeting for the day and kind of going over with what you recapped in the morning, and are those things happening? Are we on track with either some of those vehicle promise times, or did the parts show up? Again, just constant communication, super important, super important. And that is going to keep things on the track for your team. And I've talked about that so much over the years, which is communication, and it's so important. And now that I'm starting to learn about marketing as well, for automotive marketing, what I'm hearing from people that I'm included on Zoom calls with and speaking with is that the marketing companies that they currently have or have had in the past, there's someone that calls up, mentions some things to them, they purchase that marketing, and then, they don't hear from them. And it's kind of like one and done, and there's no communication. And they've asked for an update on their website, or an update on the Facebook page, or maybe a coupon that they're doing, and the marketing company just isn't being prompt in getting back to them. So not only just in, there's different parts of automotive, but not just, in the shop sense, it's also, I will call it, professional courtesy, business to business, communicating. I used to love calling back the parts people that would order parts from that weren't Worldpack. And nothing against Worldpack, they're great. I just didn't have a direct connect. They had so many drivers, but if I had to order a part from the BMW dealer with, there was maybe one or two people that I was familiar with talking to all the time. If there's a part I had to order from, Volkswagen, there's a gentleman that I always used to call and ask for that, got things delivered on time. But just, once you get those parts, calling those people back and, if you've got time of day and just saying, hey, thanks for getting that to me as quickly as you did. Or, hey, I've got this core that needs to be picked up. I've had for here for a week. I know you guys are busy, but, if you really could, I really appreciate it. So, just professional courtesy, it goes a long ways. And again, everybody that's involved, the people dropping off the parts. I used to love, Worldpack. They would, their vendors would drop off, or their drivers would drop off a part or two. And as they're leaving, just kind of, you see them driving through the parking lot, you kind of put your hand up, hey, wait a second, hey, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for dropping that off. And they kind of get this weird look. And they're like, yeah, sure, no problem. And then as they come in a second time, a third time, hey, do you need to use the restroom? Would you like a snack or a drink? Again, building relationships with them as well. I mean, they're helping your business. They're helping your business move forward. The faster the parts can get there, the more efficient you can be in getting those parts to the technician and getting the technician working on that car and then back to the client and then repeat process. But it goes from, and I don't say the bottom level. I don't look at the people bringing the parts to your business to help your customers on the bottom level. But I only say, bottom level as far as, maybe how things are progress, building the technician, identifying the concern, you writing up the RO, ordering the parts, or the client authorizing the work, ordering the parts showing up. So again, everything has to flow just right. So, be cognizant of that. I mean, show appreciation for everybody that's helping your business move forward and that you're working with. It's really important. I just can't strive that enough. It means a lot. Just even, we have parts drivers drop off from dealers and just have the check ready for them. If you know they're going to be on the way, if they're not on an account with you, a monthly account, and you got to, manually write them a check or give them cash, have it ready. Their time is valuable too. They got a bunch of stuff going on. So, and the more they see that, and it's kind of like, being in a restaurant and a waiter or waitress, working with you or helping you out, still be kind to them. It's still customer service. And again, if they're helping your business move forward, just be polite. It's the best thing to do, best policy to do. But again, touching base on health, mental and physical. We all have stuff going on outside of work. I've had coworkers before bring their concerns to work, and you can tell immediately that something's wrong. And whether they want to talk about it or not, that's sometimes not a great subject to get into. But you know, they might just be open about it, but you can tell something's going on. I've had to have the conversation in the past, hey, X, Y, or Z, or, is everything okay? Do you need to take some time off? And, no, I'm just having a bad day. Okay, well, again, help them out. Maybe you can't help out their situation, but, just check on them, be a human to a team member, to a coworker. It's really important. I just can't strive that enough. But again, health, mental and physical, and I hope everybody's doing better, feeling better if you're not feeling well. But again, inspiration, what motivates you to get up in the morning and do the best you can. For me personally, it's my family. I do everything I can for my family. I wear that on my sleeve. And, the poster, if you guys see in the background, I put that up. That's newer only because I just didn't know what I wanted to do with it. But my grandparents lived in Florida, and that is a picture that actually a poster they got in Spain in 1975. They went to a bullfight, and they brought that poster back, and they had it framed. And I always remember being a kid and seeing that poster and just loving it and asking questions about it, and them telling me about their experience in Spain. And when my grandfather passed away about a year ago, my mom said, "Hey, we're going to clean out the house in Florida. Is there anything you want out of the house?" And I said, "I would love that picture, that poster, that frame poster." And I put it up there as a reminder of family. And family personally is my driving force to just do the best I can. And also with that in, my mind, if I do the best I can for my coworkers, it's helping their families too, and just sharing that mindset. Everybody's helping everybody at work, and communication and everything just kind of falls into place. So a little sentimental today, but I guess it's during the holidays and some missed family members that aren't around to talk to anymore that have passed on and whatnot. But just trying to be a human. But Service Advisor Nation, truly from the bottom of my heart, thank you for tuning in to another episode of the AutoFix Advisor Cast. And I got a couple more episodes before the end of the year to get out, but I'll be doing those shortly. And thank you so much for tuning in, and hope everybody's doing great. Hope you keep your bays full. And thank you. Thank you so much. Worldpac, thank you again for your sponsorship. It means a lot. And you guys are still doing great things for independent shops nationwide, and we appreciate you. So this is Michael Doherty for the AutoFix Advisor Cast. Enjoy your day, and thank you again for tuning in. All right.